Welcome to Social 5 University. This is Jeremiah Stetler, your host, as we talk about how to achieve better advertising outcomes. And it is as simple as CAB. This is our CAB advertising methodology, which is great. It's going to help you with increasing the conversion rate and the click-through rate on your social media ads. So today, as we talk, we are going to talk about things that these advertising campaigns did absolutely wrong. We've got the London 2012 Olympic Games with Wenlock and Mandeville. We've got Mr. Six, the most amazing man in the world, a wonderful man in the world, whatever it was, from Six Flags. And then we have the Burger King, which still reminds me of some horror flick. But anyway, so we're going to talk about these campaigns and how that actually how they flopped and failed because they didn't abide by the CAB methodology for advertising. So quick insights on these three. We have Wenlock and Mandeville that if y'all ever saw these, you thought, what in the heck are those things? They're actually little drips of steel is what they're designed to be. But what do they have with London, and who came up with those crazy names? They're lacked a connection between those mascots and the people, the audience they were trying to reach. Instead of creating connectivity, which we're trying to do with campaigns, I want you to remember that we're trying to create connections. It created questions instead. That's a bad bad combination, when it comes to advertising. Then we had Mr. Six, who 45% of viewers described him as decidedly creepy with his dance moves, even though it was super funny. I mean, it was an intriguing campaign. But you think about who would go to Six Flags amusement park. Do they match the demographic of this guy that is doing his geriatric gyrations as he's dancing? Does it really match your demographic? Was there ability to create a connection or connectivity with the audience, between the business and the audience? And did they get a benefit from looking at those dance moves? And then they had this theme song that was super irritating. But anyways, that one failed. And then we have the Burger King, which Time Magazine described as scaring young women since 2004. The mascot felt very canned. It felt too literal. The plastic face mask was something that resembled something that was more out of a horror movie than an advertising campaign that someone could connect with. So I want you to keep those in mind as we jump into our curriculum here today, and we're going to talk about how to understand your customer. We're going to talk about how to know your audience, and then ultimately how to promote your benefit. Now, as we talk about this today, I want you to think about customer in a different way. This is a marketing philosophy that we're talking about. So when we talk about marketers, they are marketing for a customer. They're marketing for a business. So anytime I use customer, this is referring to your business. I want you to fully understand your business objectives, and what you are trying to achieve as a business. That's this first one. Then we get into the people you're trying to reach. That is your audience. And we're talking about what they want to accomplish, what your audience desires, what they want, why they do business with you. And then ultimately the mutual benefit that comes together that helps create a sustainable, mutually beneficial relationship between you and your audience. And then lastly, we'll just talk about how to launch your campaign. All right. So with that, we will jump right in. And I've got our promo for our Kiss Your Mate Day, which is an official Social 5 holiday that happens on April 28th of every year. We encourage people to kiss their mate. And if you participate in our live webinars, by the way, we give away gift cards and products in every webinar. In fact, our last one, we gave away a year of free contesting for 2 businesses. Super cool. So let's jump into the CAB methodology and go from there. And I'll start out with this quote. Amazing things will happen when you listen to the consumer. Imagine that. We learn things as we hear complaints or comments or compliments from our customers. There is one advertising campaign here in Utah that's been highly effective by the Ken Garff Automotive Group that is a We Hear You campaign. And on every sign, you've got something dealing with ears. There's people with big ears, or dogs with big ears, or it might be an astronaut helmet with an ear on it. There's a Viking helmet. I can remember a lot of these because they're so fascinating when it comes to promoting the importance of listening to the consumer. Okay, so let's start out in university fashion with a description of what the CAB advertising method is. Okay, and this is a good one to keep in mind and maybe even to write down as you think about how to craft advertising campaigns that will be effective. Successful social advertising campaigns demonstrate a complete understanding of customer objectives, an in-depth knowledge of audience motivators, and a creative approach to connect the two in order to receive a mutual benefit. Okay, so think about this for a moment. And remember, we are replacing customer with your business. That's what this is. So successful advertising campaigns will demonstrate that you have a complete understanding of your business objectives. Okay, that may seem simple. Well, of course I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to grow my business. But is that what you're trying to accomplish? Or are you trying to increase your business by broadening your demographic market? How about your geographic scope? Or are you introducing new products? Or are you competing with another company and trying to consume market share? Okay? Or are you a new business that's trying to gain awareness? What is your objective that goes beyond just selling products? Because we're all trying to grow our businesses. That's a unifying objective across all businesses. But how are we trying to accomplish that? What is our objective in growing our business? Okay, an in-depth understanding of audience motivators. What motivates your audience to do business with you? And it's not just because they like you and your products. Okay, they're trying to accomplish something, and sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's emotional. It can be a variety of things. And then how do we create a mutual benefit that encourages them to take action and make a transactional decision sooner than later? And to exemplify this, we're going to talk about a case study with Field of Screams. This is a great business. It's out of Rhode Island that features the Dungeon of Doom, the Death Con Haunted Ride, the Cirque des Souls, and Zombie Paintball. And actually with Zombie Paintball, if you've ever seen The Resort on Netflix, it's a horror movie about zombies. It's super similar because you actually even get to ride in this truck, this multi-ton truck that rolls out there where you can shoot zombies. Super cool place. But their advertising campaign was a smashing success. Okay, hugely successful. In fact, probably more successful than any other pattern of customer acquisition that they had used. So first of all, we want to understand the customer. We want to understand the business and what they're trying to accomplish. And first of all, what they're trying to accomplish is they need to monetize their agricultural land during the off season. Okay, they're growing crops during the summer. They sell the crops. And what do? Does the land just sit there and cost money and not make money for the rest of the year? Or do we try to monetize that in some way? Okay, great. Next, when do we do it? Well, it certainly isn't during the growing season. We're not going to do it during June and July or any of those time frames. But there is a seasonal entertainment value to being able to launch a social marketing campaign. They found during Halloween, by using these haunted attractions, they could increase income by advertising during that time. So I would know I'm not going to advertise it in July. I'm going to advertise it in late September or in October. Okay, who are they selling to? They found that these agri-entertainment businesses tend to attract more younger audiences. The revenue model is based on low ticket costs and high customer volume. Okay, we also know that customer decisions were based upon short-term desires rather than pre-planned excursions. So somebody's like, okay, hey, I want to go to the Cirque du Soleils. Well, I'm not going to plan that out a month in advance. I'm probably going to see that on my Facebook page the day before, or maybe the day of, and say, yeah, let's go hang out there tonight. Okay. Well, I say, how do we do it? Okay. How are we going to get people to come to our business? And we're going to our advertising campaign. Sorry. How are we going to get people to come to our business through our advertising campaign? Advertising is the vehicle for growing our business. Okay, we're investing in viewership in hopes of driving revenue-based traffic. So the first thing, and this is a concept I want you to think about when you're evaluating your business: are you a positive industry or a negative industry? It doesn't mean that you're a bad industry if you're negative. Okay, what positive means is that do people want to spend their discretionary money on you? Okay, do they want to go? If I want to go buy a burrito for lunch, for like fast food or fast casual, whatever it happens to be, that's a positive industry because I'm choosing to spend my discretionary money on that business. Okay, now let's say I get a root canal because I don't brush my teeth. Okay, and I have to go to the dentist. Now that is a negative industry. I'm having to spend my money on the dentist, even though I really don't want to. Okay, I really want to spend it on a burrito, but I'm having to do it on a dentist. Now, if I'm in a positive industry, then many times increased sales are a matter of increasing awareness. Okay, if I'm a negative industry, increasing sales often requires some sort of financial incentive or some type of offer that makes people realize that the cost of doing business with you actually is worth the benefit. The benefit outweighs the cost of doing business. Okay. All right. So those are some things to think about. So they decided they're a positive industry. So they really needed to increase awareness. They wanted to get more information out to people. And they would inevitably increase traffic because of that. And then they looked at the competitive market. And yes, it was a competitive market. There are other haunted attractions. But many times these teams will go to multiple locations. Now, that being said, because there was a competitive influence in the market, you'll see on their advertisements that they did something to elevate their brand above the competition. So think about that for a moment. If you're trying to eat up market share and take it from another business, then we need to think about how do we make our service more appealing than the competitor. Okay, so it's your turn now. I want you to think about your business. Okay, first of all, what are you trying to achieve? Think about how are you trying to increase your revenues? What method are you using to increase your revenues? New products, new geography, new demographics, capturing market share from a competitor, or increasing brand awareness. Those are 5 kind of main objectives. But what are you trying to achieve to build your business? Okay. Who do you hope to reach? Okay. What does your audience look like? Is your business positive or negative? And if it's negative, what sorts of things can I do to make the benefit worth the cost? Okay. How do people best convert? Is it by phone call, by website, on my Facebook page, on a landing page? How are they best converting? And then lastly, when is the best time for me to sell? So if I throw an advertisement out there, I'm not just wasting my money. I know that it's an optimal time to sell. For Social 5, we did this ad. The most successful ad in company history actually came out during the COVID-19 crisis, and it was a toilet paper post. And it said, I used to spin that roll like I was on the Wheel of Fortune, and now I turn it like I'm cracking a safe. Okay, so we put that photo up there, and then we included an offer for people to receive free content during the COVID-19 crisis. Okay, that performed exceptionally well. And one of the reasons it performed exceptionally well is we were able to hit that advertisement at a time when COVID-19 was the buzzword everywhere. Okay, and so the timing allowed us to really grow our business in a significant way. So let's look at the audience now. We talked about the customer. Okay, and who's the customer? That's you. It's your business. You need to understand your business objectives. Now we're talking about the audience, who you are trying to reach. So if we look at Field of Screams, we know that their audience tends to be younger. I mean, you don't see a lot of assisted living centers pulling up the bus to, to play zombie paintball, even though that creates some nice images in my mind of people in the back of that truck. You know, it's assisted living entertainment right there, but they tend to be young. They tend to live in New England. This is a Rhode Island attraction, so if I'm advertising in Utah, it's not going to have much of an effect. These people like to be with friends. When is the last time you saw someone go to a haunted house all by themselves? So this is a social endeavor. We know that these individuals, when they are young and living in New England and wanting to spend time with friends, that they may go searching for some opportunities. And really, they want to search for opportunities that are inexpensive because they don't have a lot of cash when they're young. And so how do we provide a price point that allows them to easily convert? We also know that they tend to be more impulsive. They're not planning these out weeks in advance. They tend to make decisions the day of or the day before. We know that they are looking for entertainment and that there are other options that are out there in the market for them. So we need to differentiate ourselves in that market to be able to meet their wants and their desires, which is a social activity around New England that doesn't cost them a lot of money, okay, and that comes to their mind in the moment they're searching for it. We also know that these individuals like to be scared. So let me actually turn this from a B2C model, a business to consumer model, now to a B2B model, okay, and this is with Social 5. And the thought patterns that we went through as we consider our advertisements. And I want you to do the same thing with your business. When we were looking to advertise our business, we thought, okay, who is our audience? Well, they tend to be people who own their own businesses. Okay, great. Okay, what type of business? Is this Nike? Is it Coca-Cola? Who is it? No, it happens to be businesses with fewer than 10 employees, because those are the people that really, they don't have the internal resources to hire a full-time marketing director to do their work, okay? They typically have fewer than 10 employees, and they are desperate to have more time on their hands to do what they do best. Chances are, unless you're Jeremiah Stedler, who started a social marketing company, social marketing generally isn't why people got into business. They got into business to make concrete countertops. They got into business to sell real estate, to fix root canals, to sell burritos. But they need more time to do what they do best, not to focus on social media. We also know that most of those individuals who mark that demographic, unless they're Mark Zuckerberg that got their start young in life, they're older, generally 35 years old and up. We know that they tend to have limited budgets because they're small businesses. They don't have a lot of discretionary spend, and so we want to hit something that's in the right price point for them. We know they need to build their business and acquire new customers. We know that they're not social media pros. They don't want to be, and really they just want somebody to do it for them. So when we think about these things and understanding our audience and what they want, when we create ads, we want to make sure that we demonstrate that we're going to give them what they want, which is more time. We're going to get them what they want, social marketing without having to break the bank. We're going to give them what they want, which is a path to receive more customers on a social marketing with a social marketing strategy. Okay, we're going to give them what they want, which is a full service system that doesn't require them to be involved at every darn step of the way. Okay, so now it's your turn. Who is your audience? Okay, and what do they want? Okay, and don't say they want your product. They want something more than your product. Okay, they want enjoyment, they want recreation, they want time off their hands, they want more revenue, whatever it is. What do they want? Okay, what motivates them to come searching for you? Okay, what motivates them to take action? What are their pain points? And ultimately, what will lead them to take action? Okay, now let's jump into benefits. And I want you to pay attention to this next comment. It is time to connect your customer objectives and your audience desires with a mutual benefit. Okay, we need some connection between these two. Now, I want you to go back and think for a moment about Wenlock and Mandeville. What was it that caused that campaign to fail? There was a lack of connectivity or connection between the event that was being highlighted, which was the 2012 Olympics, and the audience they were trying to reach. People just didn't connect with those two things, okay? And there wasn't a mutual benefit. There were actually more questions than connections when it came to that campaign. Same was the case with Mr. Six or the Burger King. The customer had the objective of creating a connection with their customer base, potentially creating some, what would you call that, endearment, creating some humor. But instead, you saw what happened is the business put out an advertisement that they thought would have a benefit for their audience, that would create an emotional connection to their audience. But it didn't. Instead, their audience felt it was creepy or stalkerish or whatever it happened to be. So you need to fully understand your business objectives, your audience's desires and their demographic, who they are, and then connect them with a mutual benefit. So here's what happened with Field of Screams. 3 ads that performed exceptionally well. First of all, take a look at the imagery. The imagery created a positive emotional response from consumers, providing them with a psychological payoff or a psychological benefit. There's a reason why we didn't put a truckload of assisted living people with paintballs on this image. We're trying to attract a young audience that really gets a thrill out of this idea, okay? We're putting images that would attract a young audience that wants the psychological payoff of a horror image, okay, that excitement that goes in there. So these ads all were very successful in providing an emotional benefit to the audience who we're advertising to. Never, ever, ever do one that is creating a negative emotional response. So a lot of times we do this, particularly if you're doing weight loss. You'll do some people put in a picture of someone who's overweight. Don't do that, okay? Put in an image of where the person wants to be, okay? It's the same with health and wellness generally, or I'm feeling totally overwhelmed. If I'm doing one for Social 5, I'm not going to do a picture of a person that's on their desk going, oh my goodness, okay? That's a negative emotional response. I want to put the picture of a person sitting on his yacht with his feet in the water saying, you handle your business, we'll take care of the rest, okay? Something like that, okay? A positive emotional response. Next, they provided a financial benefit. As I mentioned, they are in a competitive market. They want to provide some level of financial benefit to people who choose to go to their attraction as opposed to others. So they put in here 3 attractions for the price of 1. They use code SOCIAL20 for 20% off your tickets, okay? They're getting a financial benefit. This is something that we call a lead magnet that I'll define for you in just a moment, but it's a benefit that encourages somebody to take action. And then lastly, we provided an intellectual benefit because the advertisements validate the consumer's emotional response by suggesting that this is the #1 haunted attraction in Rhode Island. So we validated that they would make the right decision by coming here as opposed to some other attraction. So keep in mind, we're trying to increase revenues. We're trying to increase revenues at a certain time of year, which is Halloween. We're trying to increase revenues with a certain demographic, okay? We are understanding what the audience wants. They want a date night. They want to hang out. They want to go out and just have some fun with a scary setting, okay? And then we're providing them a benefit to accomplish that, an emotional benefit, a financial benefit, and an intellectual benefit. This is the CAB methodology. This is a simple strategy that will increase your click-through rate, will increase the number of people you can reach on your budget per 1,000. It will improve that if you're in social advertising. It will improve your conversion rate in a massive way. Okay, so one last thing, I promised to define lead magnet, because this is a marketing term that you will hear all the time, and I want you to have this on the mind, that a lead magnet is an incentive or benefit offered to the consumer to encourage immediate action. This may include an immediate transaction, or it may include the exchange of information like a phone number or an email address. But you should always be thinking about what is the mutual benefit that causes somebody to take action right away. So now it's your turn. Okay, what is the benefit that you could offer your audience? Okay, what could make that even better? Okay, so that it becomes a no-brainer. If you're doing a free consultation, that's not a great benefit. It works. It works. And in fact, if you go to Social 5, you'll see we have a free assessment button up at the top of the screen. And, we get leads every day from that assessment. But where we find that we have more success is when we say, you know what, try our content for 30 days for free. That's a lot better. Okay, that's a better benefit. Okay, what drives the consumer, your audience's emotion? What drives them financially in the decisions they make? And then lastly, I'm going to put this on here a second time. What leads them to action? What causes them to decide today that they want to do business with you, today that they want to share information with you, as opposed to tomorrow? So with that, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@social5.com. If you want to reach out to me directly, mine is jeremiah@social5.com. We, of course, have a whole variety of resources and videos here at Social 5 University. Please feel free to browse around and heighten your social marketing skills. All right, with that, have a great day. It's been a pleasure being with you.